What's up guys, welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to teach you guys how to build a cheap, fast, and easy lawnmower. So for those of you that don't know, this is the pulley bully, and I'm building it into a racing mower. It has a 16 horse Briggs & Stratton Vanguard. It's a 6-speed transaxle. It's the actual mower model number is an LT2000, which is pretty cool because it has the good steering. So that's wonderful. It also has a cast iron axle. So this thing is going to be a ripper whenever it's done. So today I'm just building this thing into a basic mud mower or racing mower, no matter what you say. In a future video, we're going to lower this thing. We're going to try to hit 60 with it. But yeah, basically I'm just going to go over the basics on how to build a really easy and simple racing mower. So for a budget racing mower like this, that's nice and easy to do, you're going to want to run a 6-inch pulley on the front and a 2.5-inch pulley on the transaxle. The reason we don't go bigger on the engine pulley is because this clutch right there will hit the pulley whenever you push it in. See how close it gets to the engine pulley, and that's only a 2.5-inch. So a 6-inch pulley is this biggest pulley you can go without the clutch hitting the pulley. But you can't use the parking brake anymore once you put it on there because it will hit it. So you can only push it in about that much. But you'll need to push it like that much anyway, just to disengage it. But for the engine pulley, you're going to want a 1-inch bore for the pulley on the engine. And for the transaxle pulley, you're going to want a 5/8 bore. I'm going to show you guys how to put the front pulley on. So first, you're going to want to take this off. It's a 5/8 socket. Once you get this thing off, you're going to want to take off all your belt guards. You guys are going to want to get a pulley with set screws. You guys also need to find a 1/4-inch keyway. Now our front pulley is installed. Set screws are tight. Our keyway is in there. You might have to modify your keyway because it could be too long, but that's okay. And also make sure it's lined up. And how you can do that is just push the clutch in until this idler pulley hits the front pulley. And there you go. You can see that it's lined up pretty well. So yeah, just make sure it's lined up or else your belt will fall off. Make sure you tighten the hell out of those set screws because you don't want your pulley falling off. If you want to put Loctite on them, then do that. I didn't because first of all, I don't have Loctite and I'm lazy. Alright, so as you guys may know, I have this PWK34 flat slide carburetor I'm going to put on this thing. Look at this, guys. This is insane. This freaking thing is going to bolt right up. Look, that bolt hole's lined up. That bolt hole is lined up. It's kind of hard to show you on camera, but the damn thing's gonna bolt right up perfectly. I can't even believe that right now. That's insane. Alright, enough celebrating. Let's get explaining. So I bought this 34 millimeter slide carburetor from Amazon. You do not need to buy this slide carburetor. Although if you have a Vanguard, I highly recommend it. This carburetor costs literally $35. With an air filter and an intake boot, and it bolts directly up to this engine. But if you have any other engine, you're probably going to need to do some modifications to the intake. So if you want to use the stock carburetor, you're going to have to figure out a way to hold your throttle cable up here. This is for a Briggs & Stratton Vanguard. Now, if you want to use the stock carburetor, you're going to need to find that little loop there, disconnect this governor arm from it, and then you're going to make a little loop in the cable using a little loop tool thing, and then you're gonna run it through there, make the loop, and then you're gonna figure out a way to hook up the cable up here. Now there's a big old air filter box here, so you're gonna be able to hold the cable down with that air filter box. You know, you'll know what you're talking about if your Vanguard is put together. And then you're gonna run a return spring, probably from somewhere up here to down here so that throttle returns. You're going to need to do some figuring out with this since I'm not going to use the stock carburetor, but I'll do my best to show you guys on a different engine, a Briggs & Stratton Intech. This is a Briggs & Stratton Intech V-Twin. This is the Gasman. I'll show you guys what I did for the throttle cable here. So I hooked up the throttle cable to this hole here, and I made this little assembly. I made a loop in the cable, as you can see with the little loop tool, and then looped it around a bolt here with a washer, and as you can see in there, the spring is wrapped around a little, like, sort of pipe that I put in there around the washer, so that the cable slides easy and the spring slide's easy. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah. This governor is removed internally from the engine, so there is no governor in it, but what you want to do if you want to bypass your governor, see that big spring right there, put a zip tie around that and you'll bypass your governor. I think it's either part 3 of part 2 of this build. It's called part 3 or part 2 of the racing mower. I'm pretty sure it's part 2. Could be wrong. But I go over how to remove the governor inside this engine. And that goes for pretty much almost every single V-twin engine that Briggs & Stratton makes, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's really easy, so you should do it. I also put this little return spring right there. Back to the Vanguard. If you guys are going to run a Mikuni style carburetor or a slide carburetor, this is the part number that you're going to want to get. This is the throttle cable. This is the part number for the throttle cable for this carburetor. And then this is the part number for Amazon for the other throttle cable for if you're running the stock carburetor. Back to transaxles real quick. So if you guys are looking to build a racing mower, I recommend trying to find these Peerless Tecumseh ones that I was talking about earlier. If it says automatic, hydrostatic, or shift on the go on the side, it won't work. You're gonna need a 6-speed or 5-speed or whatever the hell. This here is a Tecumseh MST 206 or Peerless MST 206, and this is a 6-speed transaxle. These are all the gears for it right here. Alright, once you get your wheels off the transaxle, then you're gonna wanna start taking it apart. Got some transaxle ASMR for you guys. Hear that cracking? Don't worry guys, that cracking is just the gasket maker, it's not the case. This is what the inside of a transaxle looks like. But here's what we're trying to stop. See how this does that? This is how a differential works right here. Pretty neat, isn't it? Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a nice big bead of weld there, nice big bead of weld there, and same thing on the other side. So what happens is whenever you get stuck, so pretend I'm holding that shaft. If I hold that shaft, that's not gonna spin and this will. So basically whenever you get stuck, this thing will be one-wheel drive, which is what you don't want, especially when you're riding in mud or snow. So you're gonna wanna weld that. Also, by welding your diff, it will also help it go straighter down the road, I've found out. Especially with crappy lawnmower steering, you're gonna need that. Next, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna clean up the spider gear, the bull gear, this little shaft here, and these 2 spider gears. Really good, because that's what we're gonna be welding. Alright, so I'm gonna teach you guys how to weld your diff now. But before you do that, you're gonna wanna go ahead on the Amazon or your local bearing store and get some of these. These are 6203 RS bearings. And make sure that they have a 3/4 inner diameter, because it's 3/4 shafts, you're gonna need a 3/4 inner diameter. Welding your diff can be tedious, but I'm gonna show you guys how I do it. So what you're gonna wanna do is once you put the bearings on the shafts, you're gonna wanna weld the diff with the bearings on the axles. And then you're gonna go ahead and put the diff in there, which can be a pain in the butt to get it right. But once you think you get it right, spin it. And make sure that these axles aren't wiggling back and forth whenever you spin it. So we're gonna put a bead here, here, and here, and here. You're gonna wanna weld the diff on a high voltage and a high wire speed so that it really penetrates those thick ass gears. And just like that, your diff is welded. It's gonna be messy, it's gonna be stinky, and it's not gonna look good. But once we take it out there and clean it up, it should hopefully be just fine. Yeah, look at all the spatter in there. You're gonna wanna clean that out real good. Now be careful, because there's gonna be spatter inside these bolt holes here. So you're gonna wanna get all that out too. So this is what you want your diff to look like here. Spin nice and free. Now you're probably gonna end up having a tight spot, which is no big deal. Tight spots are no big deal, but I'd really be concerned if it literally stops moving. Like if it gets so tight you can't even move it anymore. That's when I would be worried. But this is what a welded diff should look like. Alright, once all your bolts are tight, you can go ahead and put your rear pulley on. This can be a little bit hard. I had to use a piece of wood and a hammer to get this on. It wasn't that big of a deal. But always put never sees on the shaft before you put these on so you don't struggle taking this pulley off in the future. And that there is your race-ready transaxle. Alright, now that we have the transaxle back in the shop, we're going to put some oil in this thing. So what you guys are going to want to use for oil, you're going to want to use this 80W90. Now this stuff can be used for multiple purposes. It can be used as gear lubricant, it can be used as chemical warfare, it can also be used as smelling salts, because it smells so bad. Okay, now that my workout's done, let's actually put oil in this thing and get to work on a belt guard. This might take a while. It's 27 degrees out. This is a pretty thick oil. This stuff is thick as honey, dude. Look at that, bruh. Dude. Yep, this is gonna take a while. You turn your PC on with your foot, I turn my welder on with my foot. We ain't the same. So I just finished up the belt guard. What I did was I basically just took the stock thing and then reconfigured it to look like this. So I took the little thing to go inside that hole there, and I just, yeah, it's in that hole. And I weld a bar here, weld a bar straight across, and then weld a bar here, and then to this bolt assembly. And then I welded this little ridge here so that it could. And it's barely in between the pulleys. So the belt, whenever it falls off, it typically falls off going down here. So I stopped that, and the belt would come around here, and it would, like, you know, this would guard it from going underneath there. So yeah, you understand what I'm talking about. And the reason I didn't have it clamping here is because you still want the belt to disengage off the pulley so that your clutch actually disengages. And I just put this here for extra, you know, so that it doesn't come off the top. So, but now it's time to finally put the transaxle in. Alright, we got our transaxle installed into the mower. Now we're gonna put some never sees on these shafts, then we're gonna put the tires on. So I got the rear tires on. You guys do not need these mud tires. These costed me $125. Lawnmower tires work just fine. Unless you're going in the snow or off-roading. If you're going like in the mud or in the snow, I recommend getting a pair of these. This thing looks badass with those tires. It's absolutely insane. I like this color a lot better than the classic baby shit green that the Gasman is. That color is disgusting. Okay, so this video was supposed to be out like a week ago, but I didn't because I had to do some wiring. So today, I had my dad doing wiring because I can't do wiring. But yeah, I would go over what he did, but if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I have no idea what the hell he did. So yeah, but all I know is that it turns over, and that's really all I know. And that so basically, we just simplified the wiring, we bypassed all the safeties and shit, and just like ran everything. I don't know what the hell we did, alright? My dad did most of it. I was trying to pay attention, but it's difficult. But I just have to organize these wires, hook up a fuel system, and then this thing will be ready to rip. Oh yeah, I hooked up an idler pulley. I don't know if I told you. If I did, then okay. So I put an idler pulley there to make the belt tighter, so we can see that we've got pulley, pulley, pulley. And there we go. So yeah, this thing's literally ready to go. I also hooked up the foot throttle and the carburetor. Ignore the fact that this is all taken apart right now, but here's what I did. I welded a transaxle bolt to the frame here, and then I put 2 nuts on here, and then I welded this piece of wrench to the nut so that it pivots. And then I welded this wrench here, and this wrench here, and then a bolt here, hooked up the throttle cable, made this little bracket for the throttle cable, and the throttle cable goes all the way to the carburetor. still needs to be tuned. It was just running off gas in the bowls. I need to put a bigger jet in it, I think. So yeah. Okay, so I noticed that this thing, it seemed like it was running out of gas whenever I gave it throttle, but it seems like it was flooding itself out at idle, which is weird. As you can see here, this intake is just completely full of gas. And I know why. So there's too small of a main jet, and the float height is absolute ass on this thing. Just take a look at this. Yeah. That's not level at all, so that needs to change. So yeah, I'll be right back with you guys whenever that carburetor's tuned, hopefully. Alright, she's driving. I tuned the carburetor and she seems to be running good. This thing's got torque. God damn. Alright, I just took this thing for a bit of a test ride, off camera really quick. This thing is insane. This thing with that slide carburetor makes such a big difference. This is a 16 horse, 30 cubic inch Vanguard. This is a 40 cubic inch, 18.5 horse Briggs & Stratton Intech V-twin. That thing blows this thing out of the water. Like, put a slide carburetor on it, man. This thing has some insane power, but we didn't go without any problems. This thing's still running too lean. I need to put a bigger needle in it, I think, or a smaller one, or whatever the hell, a richer one. And then this tire went flat. I drove it for like 30 seconds, and the fucking tire's already flat. And my headlight wire is dragging. So yeah, we got some problems to fix real quick. Alright, so basically what I did off camera, I tuned the carburetor, not all the way, obviously. It still bogs a little bit whenever I give it too much gas too fast. I hooked up a fuel system. I ran to Napa, got some fuel line. I hooked up a new fuel pump. Is it leaking? I think it's leaking a little bit. I don't. Ah, shoot, she's leaking a bit. I don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal. But yeah, I got a fuel pump on there. Carburetor's all, the fuel system's hooked up. It's running pretty mint. Not gonna lie. Just needs to be a little bit more rich. Alright, so I figured out what that rubbing was. It was this little cover shroud thingy. You can see there. You can see that it was rubbing. It was rubbing up against this part right here. You can see. And it was causing it to spark. So, I guess we can't run that until I figure something out with that. That kind of sucks. But hey, it runs pretty damn good. Test drive is going to have to wait. And tomorrow's Christmas Eve, unfortunately. And I'm going on vacation. Well, not really vacation, but I'm going elsewhere. So this video unfortunately won't be out by Christmas. You'll probably be watching it on the 26th or the 27th if everything goes right. So I wish y'all a Merry Christmas. See y'all on the test drive. It's dark out, that's why I'm not test driving it. I figured you guys knew, but yeah. Alright, it's the next morning. I have a little bit of time to do a test drive on this thing, so we're gonna do a test drive. The transaxle leak back here, it's pretty bad. But it's gonna do just fine for now. And also, the almighty Lord has blessed us with snow last night. So we're getting a snow ride, boys. Alright, so this fuel pump leaks a little bit. Not that big of a deal. But it's just kind of a pain in the ass. I think it's fine. I mean, we'll find out if it catches on fire. Do a little bit of a cold start. Dude, fired right up. Listen to this idle. This thing sounds so good, dude. Woo! Clutch on this thing works really well. has some insane torque. God damn. This thing is mean, dude. Woo! The steering on this thing is so nice. Let's see how well this thing does right here. I love this engine. Whoa, it is slick, man. Let's go in the trail here. Damn, man, it's bumpy. Dude, this engine sounds so much better than that freaking intake and the Gasman. What a second. God damn, man. This thing has such crazy torque. It is so responsive. God damn, it is slick. It is straight ice right now. Oh my God. Oh, it does not turn. What the fuck? Do some off-roading. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, there's a branch. Shoot. No problem. We'll just crawl over everything. God damn. Dude, even in the snow, this thing grips. Oh. Woo! Oh my God. Dude, I love the sound of this thing. Yeah! I'm gonna shut up for a second and just let you guys enjoy this thing's sound. Well, I think we can all agree that that was insanely fun. And that just goes to show why you should build a racing mower instead of a go-kart or a mini bike, because let me tell you what, it's better than a four-wheeler, it's better than a go-kart, because a go-kart already doesn't have suspension, and this doesn't either. The only thing that a go-kart has that this thing doesn't is good steering. But this has gears, so it's funner. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video of Ramshackle Shop. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys go out and build one of these yourself, because it's insanely fun. Peace.